I wanted to record a quick video about power paragliding training because I just went through it, and obviously it's something you always learn and progress, but I wanted to give you my thoughts, see if it was worth it, give you a little bit of understanding about what it is, and then also my experience with my instructor. So the question becomes, do you want to get into power paragliding? Is training worth it? I will tell you, for me, I've done a lot of things in my life: kiteboarding, skydiving, all that stuff, snowboarding, surfing, and power paragliding is probably the coolest thing that I've ever done by far. It is the perfect blend. So for me, it was, yes, I want to do power paragliding. That's a decision that you have to make. Everybody has their own things that they like, things that they enjoy. So for me, it was a clear yes for that. And then the question becomes, do I do self-training or do I learn from professionals? I am typically the person who can go through everything and, it makes sense, it's easy, I kind of understand it because I've had some experience. So like I was self-taught on kite surfing as an example, which is pretty similar, and there is no way in the world that I would recommend self-training for power paragliding. I know people do it. I can't imagine how, and I can't imagine how it's actually safe. Because there's so many little things, so many nuances that you would miss if you didn't go through training. So it's one of those things where it's like, do I really need to go through training? If it's money, do I need to spend that money? Once you get into training, there was zero question whatsoever that training for power paragliding is extremely, extremely important. I'll give you a quick review of what training is, and I'll give you my experience. So defer to whoever you're going to get training from, defer to them to understand what their training is. But the basic idea is you learn safety, so you learn ground school, you learn how to kite the wing, which is taking your wing and getting it up overhead and basically just controlling it in different configurations. So learning how to control it forward, reverse, those types of things, learning how to steer it, learning how to basically get ready for a taxi or a launch. So you learn how to kite the wing, you go through ground school, you get your engine, your gear set up in a simulator. Once it's appropriate, you may do some tow launches where you'll be pulled up behind some sort of towing mechanism if appropriate, and then you'll do some solo flights when you're ready, and that'll be under close instruction with your supervisor, with a radio, etc. So that's a basic overview of training from my experience. There's a lot more that goes into it, but I wanted to keep it short. And then my experience where I was trained was absolutely amazing. So go where you're comfortable, go where it makes sense for you. But I trained at Apex Parasports with Ross Kennedy as the instructor, and then Joe Hall helped out tremendously as well. I asked just about every question I possibly could, caused trouble, I'm sure, looking for gear, looking for any advantage, any question, any understanding that I could, and man, were they awesome. So extremely good training. If you were to go on to look up Ross Kennedy's information, you cannot find a more experienced instructor, at least from my perspective. Has flown every type of aircraft type that's out there and has a ton of experience. So my overall opinion of Apex Parasports at the Zombie Air Force LSA in Elizabethtown, North Carolina is where it was. Absolutely amazing. It was a physical, like you had to really work hard. You learned a lot, but you came out super, super prepared. So if you have any question whether to choose training, absolutely do it. If you have any question as to whether Ross Kennedy or Joe Hall or Apex Parasports are worthwhile or legitimate, they absolutely are, and I've been through a lot of different trainings in my life. So that's it, man. I am super stoked on power paragliding. That's my paraglider back there. It's a little bit cold today, so I was going to go do some kiting. It's a little bit windy, but I wanted to record this video. So hopefully it's helpful for you. You can actually reach out to me if you have any questions on it. I'd be happy to kind of direct you. And good luck. Happy landings, man.